In Bend, Oregon, the waiting is nearly over. Right on schedule, Thomas Beatty, the pregnant man, is experiencing his first contractions.
Wow, it's really weird. It goes from I'm fine to zoom, and then it starts to taper off.
Fun.
It's like somebody's got some sort of pain down, they go creak, and then they slowly let it off.
10 years ago, Thomas was still Tracy. Despite testosterone injections changing his physical appearance, he was not yet the man he wanted to become.
The last thing to go for my transition was my breasts. They're the one thing that didn't fit anymore.
It wasn't like they were huge.
No, I mean, they weren't, I didn't have like D, size D. But they were noticeable enough.
To legally change sex, most states require a doctor's letter stating surgery has taken place to alter a person's gender. In Thomas's case, this was the removal of his breasts.
The surgery happened in 2002, and that was the turning point in my legal change. So after having chest reconstruction surgery, I was able to change my legal documentation, my birth certificate, my passport, my social security, and my driver's license to with an M. It's just a simple little letter, you know, going from F to M, and that made the biggest change in my life from a legal standpoint.
With Thomas now legally male, he and Nancy became husband and wife. After a few years of married life, they decided to start a family. Despite Nancy having already had children, she was no longer capable of carrying a baby, but Thomas had taken precautions.
Well, I knew that I always wanted to have children, and so I wasn't ready to, surgically remove my reproductive organs, because for me, that was just a means to have a child. It wasn't some sort of identity of whether I was female or male.
Thomas's decision not to have his womb and ovaries removed has caused many to question whether he can really be considered the pregnant man.
I'm still trying to understand why this is considered a miracle. He is a biological woman. You put a sports bra on me and I grow out some facial hair and I get knocked up. Does that make me a pregnant man?
One of the major criticisms is that I'm not a man, Why is the media continually perpetuating the story as a pregnant man?
This is the biggest non-story story of history.
Followed by calling me by my first name, my former name, Tracy.
Her name is not Thomas. Her name is Tracy. And you see, that name was given to this person because she is a girl.
No one is recognizing my legal status as male.
I saw in the paper this incredibly grotesque image of what was called a pregnant man. It actually was a pregnant woman, which it happens all the time. Nothing special about that.
What's the definition of a man?
Is it having a penis? Is that what makes a man?
When you look at someone, how do you determine their sex?
By their appearance.
I thought you were by their penis.
Usually that's what most people do. I mean, I would say 100% of people, when you see someone and you see someone that looks like me, I'm going to be called male.
What defines a man?
Yeah.
Well, it's not having babies. Men don't have babies. Women have babies, men raise them.
So what do you think of this guy saying, I'm the world's first pregnant?
You know what? I think it's pretty sick shit myself. That's not what we're about. And to have something like this happen in our town is truthfully bizarre.
People are now calling me female because I decided to use my reproductive organs. What if I had gotten a surrogate? What if we adopted? If we adopted a child, would I be the child's father? I would be, right? I mean, isn't that what most people would see our family as? Father, mother.
That's how they should see it now.
But for some reason, a lot of people have a problem seeing me as male. So, does a penis make a man? Well, I kind of have a penis. When a female body is introduced to testosterone, the clitoris changes and tissue starts to grow. So what happened to me was I didn't have genital surgery, but in effect, the hormones did the work for it, in place of surgery. What I have is what appears to be a small penis. I can have penetrative sex with my wife, and I can't ejaculate, but it looks like one, it's just not as big, but Nancy said that it's not much smaller than some of the guys she's been with, so hey. A lot of people don't understand that the surgeries that are available for female to males, there's a phalloplasty, which is just insanely barbaric. I would never even consider that. What they do is they hack up your forearm and they take skin and they mold what appears to be a penis, which doesn't always take and may fall off and may get infected and you can't feel it. And it's horrible. And how does that make you more of a man?
Thomas had become a legal man, albeit one with a womb and eggs. But to fertilize them, he needed some sperm.
The baby. I didn't know you were doing that.
There's a couple of online sites where they allow you to look through the donor catalogs.
We were looking for somebody tall, somebody with my color eyes, and smart. Yeah.
Okay, this is half a person. You kind of have to follow special instructions on how to handle it. We just pulled it out of this. This is liquid nitrogen and it was stored down there.
It's kind of like working with, I don't know, some sort of nuclear thing. That's what it was like, right? The first time.
It's a big production, really.
It's kind of scary. I'm heating it up. Temperature is, what temperature is it?
It's 99 degrees. And then you pipe it into a needleless syringe and inseminate yourself.
The entire thing, just stick up there.
Yeah.
You
It happened right here, right in this spot. I really hope I'm pregnant. Well, I knew instantly that it worked. It's a little odd. I mean, I just felt nauseous immediately and vomited.
Becoming pregnant meant that Thomas's reproductive organs had to become fully functional again. But for that to happen, Thomas had to stop taking his male hormone treatment.
After I stopped doing my testosterone, my body immediately started to change. And especially during this pregnancy, I feel like my muscle is just melting off of my body. Because before, when I make a muscle mirror, I mean, I still have some muscle, but it's probably half the size it used to be. Like being off my testosterone, my voice has climbed probably an octave or so. When I go back on my testosterone, I'll probably deepen. I've actually spoken to a lot of men that said that they would carry a baby if they could. If their wife were unable to carry a child, and they would absolutely carry their child, and they wouldn't consider themselves any more female. They're a husband or, a father providing for their family, which is the way I see myself.